Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Frightened by the braying of the asses, birds flew shrieking from their nest, while cattle in the cowshed as well as in the woods passed dung and urine. Next verse. Gavo trasan asrikdohas, toyadaha puya varshinaha, virudhan devalingani, druma pedurubinalinam. Synonyms. Gavaha, the cows. Astrasan were frightened. Asrik, blood. Doha, yielding. Toyadaha, clouds. Puya, pus. Varshinaha, raining. Virudhan, shed tears. Devalingani, the images of the gods. Drumaha, trees. Peduhu, fell down. Vina, without. Anilam, a blast of wind. Translation by His Divine Grace, Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Cows, terrified, yielded blood in place of milk. Clouds rained, pus. The image of the gods in the temple shed tears, and trees fell down without a blast of wind. 14th verse. Grahan punyatamam anye bhaganam chavidiptidaha adicherur vakragatya yuddhuscha parasparam. Synonyms. Grahan, planets. Punyataman, most auspicious. Anye, others, the ominous planets. Bhaganan, luminaries. Cha, and Abhi, also. Deepidaha, illuminating. Adicheruha, overlap. Vakragatya, taking retrograde courses. Yuyuddha, came to conflict. Cha, and Paraparam, with one another. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Ominous planets such as Mars and Saturn shone brighter and surpassed the auspicious ones such as Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus, as well as a number of lunar mansions. Taking seemingly retrograde courses, the planets came in conflict with one another. Purport. The entire universe is moving under the three modes of material nature. Those living entities who are in goodness are called the pious species, pious lands, pious trees, etc. It is similar with the planets. Also, many planets are considered pious and others are considered impious. Saturn and Mars are considered impious. When the pious planets shine very brightly, it is an auspicious sign. But when the inauspicious planets shine very brightly, that's not a very good sign. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadadi Sapadambigam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Udabadagamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunadhanidam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lilidam Sri Vishakhanidamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanul Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktum Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Namadidamastu Ma Vidushavahay. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining today. Very auspicious Bhagavatam class and chanting in the morning. So we were going through this section of auspiciousness and inauspiciousness of the appearance of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So this entire last chapter was discussing about the context of the Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu coming down on this planet, on this material world. So here in this chapter, which is titled as Victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. So here, the beginning of the first verse, sage Maitreya is describing to Mahatma Vidura. We know that the context, this verse started. When Mahatma Vidura inquired about the reasons of the appearance of Lord Varahadev, then sage Maitreya he started to describe and explain that how and why Lord Varahadev appeared. So that's where he started, the context of it. And then sage Maitreya was explaining to Mahatma Vidura about the demigods approached the Brahmadev and seeing the entire darkness everywhere, the bad omens, and everywhere it is spread around, and meteors, and so many inauspiciousness around the even, not only in this, even the heavenly planets in the higher planetary system, even up to Brahmalok. And then they were all afraid, they were fearful about it. So then they approached Brahmadev and to understand the cause of it. So in this verse, in this chapter also, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, the fear is everywhere. That's nature of the material world. It's full of fear. But there is a difference between those who are fearful in this universe, in this earthly planet, and there is a those who are fearful in the heavenly planets. So heavenly planets, those who are intelligent, they are more intelligent than the people on the earthly planets or the Bhulok and Bhuvarlok and Bhuvaswa and Sorgalok. So these are the three mandalas. So higher planetary system, they are intelligent. So Srila Prabhupada writes that they, even if they go through it, they first approach the authority. That's the difference between the people on the earthly planet or on the heavenly planets. They approach the authority, whereas the people, those who are fearful and illusion on this material world, they don't go with the authority, but they have mental speculation and they come up with their own conclusion. So that's the difference. So here, demigods are all were approached Brahmadev, and Brahmadev was explaining that we went through many classes about the how Jaya and Vichya came down to the earthly planet in this sense material world. And it was mentioned that while they are coming down itself and started these bad omens. And it was mentioned that, it's all over around all the universes where the blowing the wind, here and there and hissing, like, there's a hissing sound when the wind is blowing. And the masses of clouds, and there are earthquakes even on the mountains, and there is lightning sometimes and flashing, and then there is thunderstorms and thunder without any lightning, without any symptoms, darkness everywhere, and nothing could be seen. The ocean is actually swelled with waves, and all clouds, and everywhere the sun is actually surrounded by the misty hollows and the moons, and there are eclipses, and again and again, and all these bad omens that as we started also today, the 12th verse onwards, as it's mentioned that the cows were terrified, and the asses and the birds flew here and there shrieking, and then the cattle in the cowshed, actually they just go here and there. They were showing all this uneasiness, and they passes the dung and the urine, and it's all these kinds of, and the temple, in the gods in the temple, the deities were started to shed the tear. Can you imagine? In the temple, the gods, were started to shed the tears, and it's happened. Someday we heard in the history that it happens. The deities also reciprocate, and it's also then in the 14th verse it's mentioned that the planets, there are 9 planetary system which is in the auspiciousness and the inauspiciousness category. And in this verse, 14th verse, so it's mentioned that these various planets, whether it is auspicious and inauspicious, they all come. And especially the inauspicious planets, especially the Mars and the Saturn, and they all come. So whenever there is this kinds of inauspiciousness and bad omens and anything which bad is going to happen, all this is appears on this world. So especially we went through Harikishore Prabhu and Madhuri Prabhu, or the last few classes went over with that the situations of how one faces this bad situations. If anything anything bad is going to happen, then we can feel that, we can see the symptoms of it, and it's naturally happens. So here the Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu is appeared through the womb of Mother Didhi. Mother Didhi was holding this Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu for almost 100 years, 100 celestial years, basically. So it's been quite a long time, and even Mother Didhi understood that, and Kashyapa Muni already warned that what is going to happen carrying these 2 demons. So they appeared in the form of demon, even though they are Jaya and Vijaya, because of their bad behavior towards the devotees, and they cursed and to appear on this world as demons, and they have and as also it is mentioned that they represents the anarthas. So basically there are 6 anarthas, and there are lots of anarthas. These demons represents those anarthas. That's the most important thing. And especially when these incidents, these histories mentioned in the Puranas, especially the Amala Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam, which has a great significance, great meaning. So we also try to understand those great meanings of. So these Jaya and Vijaya, these demons represents the anarthas, and they not only they have this 2 birth, but as per the promise with the Supreme Lord, they will have 3 other births in the subsequent yugas. So in the Satya Yuga, they appeared as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and in the Treta Yuga as Ravana and the Kumbhakarna, and in Dwapara Yuga they appeared as Shishupal and then the Vaktra. And they appears, I mean, all these demoniac qualities appears in due course of time, and it represents all these anarthas, and the bad qualities all represents the demoniac qualities, and anybody has this demoniac qualities prominent. So consider that they comes actually into this prominent, and they affected by these demons or demoniac qualities. So in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is a chapter which is mainly is actually describing about the divine and the demoniac qualities. So it's very important to understand what are the demoniac qualities, and this is the significance of understanding the history of Jaya and Vijaya. So the demoniac qualities in the 16th chapter is mentioned that the pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. Krishna was telling this to Arjuna. Now, Arjuna, those who have pride. So here, in this case, Hiranyakashipu was the representation of pride. And then the Hiranyaksha was the representation of the greed. So when sage Kashyapa gave the naming ceremony, and sage Kashyapa understood that the quality of this personalities, these demoniac personalities. So Kashyapa Muni named Hiranyakashipu, he is the eldest one, because so he is conceived first, and he is the eldest one. And then he got the name Hiranyakashipu because of he is going to be Hiranya, always surrounded by the wealth and the comfort. And Hiranya means the gold and the wealth, and then Kashipu means the soft cushion. And he'll be always around that, and he'll be so pride and in his nature. So sage Kashyapa gave his name Hiranyakashipu, and then the younger brother of Hiranyakashipu is Hiranyaksha. Sage Kashyapa gave the name of Hiranya Aksha. Aksha means the eye, that he was always looking for this gold, Hiranya, or the wealth, and always looking, and he will, mine the earth, the entire universe, and to try to capture the wealth and accumulate the wealth. So these are all bad qualities, and Srimad Bhagavatam so beautifully explains in such a way that the people are in general, those who are so much eager to accumulate all this, and then ultimately what happens, this all diminishes. So Lord, Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is mentioning in this chapter pride, arrogance, right? That's called the madha, and the conceit, anger, the krodha, harshness, and ignorance. These are all demonia qualities. And it is mentioned that those who are demonia do not know what to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. They always say that this world is unreal, there is no truth in it. This is happening just because of some accidental interactions with the material elements. They say there is no foundation, there is no God. They say it is all creation is happening just by the desires, lusty desires, and they engage in the horrible acts, and they work here and there, and they don't think anything else, and they don't even think about their existence. They're perplexed by the anxieties and bound by networks of illusion, and they become strongly attached to the sense enjoyment and fall down again and again in this material world. So they obtain the repeated birth and the different species of demoniac species, and they go up and down and here and there and left and right from the time immemorial, and then they suffer and struggle and goes through the very distressed conditions in this life. And then these qualities, these demoniac qualities, so nicely explained in the 16th chapter by Krishna to Arjuna. And then Krishna is saying that those who are transcendental qualities, that's the 26 qualities of the divine qualities, which is mentioned, that they are very peaceful, they are compassionate to other living entities, they always have control of senses and the mind and the intelligence, they engage into the loving devotional services, they study. So there are lots of the divine qualities. This one who follows, this one who takes this is considered as the divine qualities. So there are so much of demoniac qualities, and that even in the Krishna Leela, in the appearance of the Lord, there are so many asuras appeared. So these asuras also represents certain kinds of anarthas. So we always have to, it's good to understand and good to see that, when we look ourselves, when you check ourselves, whether we have these qualities or not, so that we can correct ourselves and we can situate into the divine qualities. As Krishna says that, one who comes to that divine qualities, and Mahatma Namstu Mam Bharata Devim Prakriti Masrataha, they come under the Devi Prakriti, they come under the divine nature. So the great souls, the devotees, those who are in the divine qualities, they comes under this Devi Prakriti. Otherwise, they will come into the Asura Prakriti, or Asura Prakriti is actually the demoniac qualities. So it's very important. So the demoniac qualities, their destination is the hellish planets, not anywhere else. So then they wander around, they come back. So in order to relieve us from these demoniac qualities, so Krishna came directly to eliminate so these asuras or these demons in various times, as in the Bhagavad Gita explains and confirms that. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya ja dushkrita. Vinashaya ja dushkritam, and to save the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, Lord comes down like, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, Lord appears millennium after millennium. Lord comes down, Lord incarnate himself to eradicate, to eliminate these miscreants. So when Lord comes to eliminate, to eradicate the miscreants, means that Lord is actually establishing and eradicating the demoniac qualities. That is the most important thing to understand. When we go through the Bhagavatam, And if we still have this demoniac qualities, and we have to, by the mercy, we have to pray to the Supreme Lord that to eradicate all our demoniac qualities. Nobody is free from it. And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, everybody, especially in the age of Kali, is everybody is Shudra in the mode of ignorance, and they have all these anarthas they have. Not only just one anartha. In the Satyuga, Hiranyasha and Hiranyakashipu is very prominent in the pride and the greed. And, but in Kali Yuga, everybody has all these anarthas. All these anarthas. So in the Krishna Leela, we know that there are so many demons there. So when it comes to the Putana, Putana is actually represents the anartha of a false spiritual master, or the like Putana, pretending. So we know that the Putana was pretending. So, but Krishna came, and Putana came to kill Krishna, and Putana is actually assigned, take the service to feed the poison to Krishna. But what Krishna is to, Krishna killed the Putana. Not only that, Krishna sucked out all these poisons, all this milk from Putana. And then Krishna, relieved Putana. So this is another significance of it. Even though all we have the demoniac qualities, but if we take the Krishna, if he accepts the service of Krishna, if he surrender unto him, if he takes the holy name, chant the holy name, Krishna takes that. And whatever that bad qualities, Krishna will remove, eradicate all that bad habit and bad qualities, and we can be liberated and can be become purified. So like that, there is Vatsasura in the Krishna Leela. The Vatsasura is actually giving, like, those who are irresponsible, those who are like acting like a childish, and they do not know. So they kind of very, foolish. So Vatsasura is significance that those who are acting foolish, even though they have this human form of life. There is Bekasura. Bekasura is also representing the duplicity and deceptiveness. So we know that people, even in this world, they act like that, but they pretend they have this duplicity of everything they have. They say something, they do something, they do something, they say something. They always cheat and always have this duplicity in one way or other. And this Bekasura is, we know that in the story, Beka, that who opened their mouth and, pretending as like a cake. So this represents this cunning and the duplicity untold. So these are all demoniac qualities. So when we have all these demoniac qualities, and then they pretend in order to fulfill our own selfish or self-centric activities, and people engage into this duplicity, and these are all demoniac qualities. And when we have these demoniac qualities, then it swayed away, with us, and then we completely lost in this material world. There is Aghasura. There is a snake demon. So this Aghasura, snake demon, is representing the cruelty and the violence. So these anarthas also we have. Sometimes we are cruel. We don't know what we are speaking, what we are doing with others, what we are doing with everything. And always when we lost in our sense enjoyment, and we lost our control, we are cruel, we are angry, the krodha. So this also represents the Aghasura, the snake demon, and very cruel. And then Dhenukasura. Dhenukasura is another, and Dhenukasura also represents the honor and the aspiration for selfish and all those things. And he is actually also the pride of it. And he is kind of that false ego, that such a way that nobody is, I am the controller of everything. This is actually the Dhenukasura represents. The Kaliya represents the brutality and treachery. And that is the anartha. So if anybody has this kinds of quality, and they means that they are representing the Kaliya, the brutality and the treachery, and this gives us so many wonderful meaning to us. And then we have, that the Pralambasura. Pralambasura is actually the nasty inclination and personal gain and the honor. So a person who is actually having this lusty and the personal inclination and everything is actually loaded over that this is for me. And those people represent the Pralambasura, the Asura, the demoniac qualities, and Pralambasura. So like that, there are so many of the anarthas or the bad qualities, and that's the significance of it, and we are understanding from it. So in the context of the Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that we all have these bad qualities, So when we have these bad qualities, and what we need to do? So we have to pray to the Supreme Lord. So as is mentioned that in the Kali Yuga also, this bad qualities like the demons appears. So we know that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Chaitanya Leela, these demons or demonia qualities appeared, or this Jaya and Vijaya is appeared in the form of Jagai and Madhai. So in the Krishna, the Lord killed the Hiranyakashipu or Hiranyaksha when Varahadev appeared as in the boar incarnation, and then killed Hiranyakashipu as Narahari, and Lord appeared as killed Ravana as Lord Ram appeared, and the Kumbhakarna with the bows of Lord Ram. And then in the Treda Yuga, Lord appeared, Lord used the Shishupal and the Dravaktra. So Ravana, he represents the anartha of lust, and the Kumbhakarna represents the anartha of the illusion, the moha. And then the Dandavaktra was very angry. He was tearing off the universes and against the enmity with the Krishna. So he also been killed by the Krishna. And also Shishupal, he was representing the enviousness of it. So when he was so much envy of Krishna, and he was such a way that he was not even having even a consideration of us. This is a person standing in front of, in such a way that very brutally that Shishupal is using the word against the Supreme Lord because of that enviousness. So we know that a person is covered by this enviousness, and then what happens? He completely forget himself, and he does, whimsically, and he lost himself. And so Krishna killed the Shishupal. And then we know that in the Kali Yuga, also these demons appeared in the form of Jagai and Madhai. But in the Kali Yuga, the Supreme Lord appeared not with any weapons, but Supreme Lord appeared with a very divine weapon, which is nothing but the holy name. So whoever takes this holy name, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually removes the bad qualities or the demonia qualities from the people. Whoever actually just accepts that, the divine weapon. That divine weapon is nothing but the holy name of Krishna. So we know that in the Kali Yuga, the Jagai and Madhai is covered with all these anarthas. All these 6 anarthas and all these anarthas which is mentioned, they are, such a way that they completely covered with all these anarthas. But just by, accepting the holy name, they completely relieved, completely free from. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't kill the persons, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is killed the demonia qualities from the person. So that's the most important. When we accept the Krishna service, when we accept the name of Krishna, when we have that acceptance and surrenderness, and then Krishna will eradicate, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will eradicate our bad qualities from our chitta, from our heart. So Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, and so beautifully says and mentioning, the devotee who worships the holy name should first petition the Lord for the strength to cast out all these unfavorable tendencies, and should pray thus before Lord Hari on a daily basis. By doing this regularly, the devotee's heart will eventually become purified. Sri Krishna has killed a number of demons which may arise in the kingdom of the heart. So in order to destroy these problems, devotee must cry very humbly before the Lord and admit defeat. Then the Lord will nullify all the culminations. So dear devotees, all that what we are learning from Srimad Bhagavatam to purify ourselves, hearing this, the pastimes of Krishna itself is purifications. That means all we need our acceptance, taking the shelter and complete surrender unto the holy name and the Krishna. That is the only way that we can. So we accept our qualities, and if we accept that, we have, oh Lord, I have these bad qualities. Somehow or other, I am actually entangled with it. I'm struggling in this world. So you only can help us. You only can use your weapon. You only can, shoot your sharp mercy to us, towards our heart. Then only it can be eradicated. We don't have any capability. We are Kripa Siddhas. We don't have any capacity to put ourselves in such a conditions. Only by your mercy that we can eradicate all these anarthas from us. So that should be our prayer. So all we need is actually, yes, this is for us. All these wonderful pastimes of Krishna is for us to purify ourselves and completely eradicate from our demonia qualities, so that we can attain the Supreme Lord and we can completely free from all these anarthas. And then only by that, when we come out from these anarthas, that we can situate in our spiritual realm or spiritual qualities or divine qualities. So that's the significance of we are hearing and understanding and going through all this. And then once we put ourselves in that such, all the auspiciousness comes. Otherwise, always there is an inauspiciousness, and then we struggle and distress and unhappiness and the sorrow and more and the greed, and we completely swayed away in these anarthas, and we think that this is what it is. But when we come in Krishna consciousness and pray to the Supreme Lord and come to that engage in the name and the service of the Lord, then we come to, and all auspiciousness will come to us. And that's the perfection of our life. So with this note, I would end here. Thank you so much for being here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Simheswar Prabhu. I would like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day and weekend ahead. A weekend of wonderful festivities. Tomorrow is Philadelphia Rath Yatra, last Rath Yatra in our vicinity for 2022. We are all invited to attend the Rath Yatra in Philadelphia. It's a wonderful Rath Yatra. Okay. Also, the disciple course is starting from today, online, today evening. It's a last chance. If somebody who would like to still attend and they are not registered, they can register. This Sunday morning Japathon class is by Krishna Babu. Krishna Namananda Prabhu. Yeah. We'll send out a flyer for that. Okay. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Shri Narsingho, Jai Narsingho, Jai Jai Narsingho, Praladesha, Jai Padma Bringa, Ugra Veera Mahavishnu, Jwalantam Sarvato Mukam, Narsingam Vishnam Nityam Namamiham. Narsingha Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Sunday morning class is by Nitai Sevini Mataji from 8 to 9 a.m. on Zoom. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Samal Vaishnavas, Mancha Kalpataru,
Sindhu Bhevacha, Patidanam
Bhavanyabhayo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Vaishnavrinda ki Jai, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, La Prabhupada ki Jai, Lord Premanande.
Thank you, Simheswar Prabhu. Thank you. Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.